vai falar.
So Daniel, I'm Daniel, one of Joel's friends from Brazil. I met Joel before he moved here, and then we became friends since then. He and I became two of those people where like we could finish each other's sentences. We knew each other's thoughts. We saw each other, and Zach was always very surprised by how similar we were. And through these years, we've just shared a lot of adventures, and we've really learned. I learned so much about Joel to sort of appreciate the world. We shared the same Portuguese teacher, and would do trips together and explore Sao Paulo together, explore Brazil together, and it's just so much that you can learn from somebody who's just so sort of smart and curious and always looking to find the next exciting thing, not just at the highest level, but sort of within. You really appreciated the small details. And
I think for me, his sense of we shared such a sense of adventure that we developed over time that we realized worked really well together. And so just like traveling with Joel was sometimes complicated, but also like one of the best people I've ever traveled with, or that we've ever traveled with, and it was just so amazing. In some ways, when he moved to Brazil a few years after we did, to like rediscover Brazil through him, and from everything, right, from traveling at big things to small things, like all the different types of pepper that we found at the organic market, and we would compare, you know, which one was at my market and which one was at his market, and which one was good and which one we should buy, or you know, on any hike we were in Florianopolis or in the Amazon or wherever, to figure out like what's behind that bush and what's that over there, and like what do you think is over here, and we always end up discovering like new amazing things. And
he was always
really
willing.
miss that.
He was always willing to. We could be at the same beach, but he would want. We'd been there 10 times, but he would want to go behind those trees to explore, and suddenly we find this new magical lake. You know, where we go to the Amazon, and he wants to make us walk 300 meters into the middle of the river and just stand there and watch
To find something else.
nature.
And I think like that's kind of the joy that he brings, that sense of adventure and joy and exploration. And you can kind of enjoy every little thing about your life or about your trip or about whatever it is through him. That's something that you'll really miss.
I have a letter to. So Joel and I shared a Portuguese teacher, Patsy, who's in Berlin, and she sent me something to read for him. So it says, Joel, I remember that first time we met, you couldn't say bom dia. 4 years later, you were using more slang in Portuguese than I could. I'm so proud of this path we walked together. I wish you knew all the joy you brought to my life. Every time we met for lessons, lunch, or just to hang out, you made my day better. Every time. You had the capacity to change my mood and make me smile on a great day. You got my jokes and I got yours. You said once that I taught you everything you needed to know to be a Brazilian. But you taught me so much more. You taught me to be braver and more authentic. You motivated me to take risks. You taught me how important it is to enjoy our time here. You supported my crazy ideas, and we dreamed together about things that we knew would never happen. I'll never forget your smile, your kindness, and your generosity. I'll never forget the hundreds of meals we had together on weekdays and all the love and esteem you showed me. You were so sensitive, smart, and kind. It's people like you that make the world a better place, and for all that, you will be missed. I'm so thankful I had you in my life. I want your parents to know what a special guy they raised and how important it was for me to have you as a friend. I saw the love of Jesus in you, and I pray to God to bring peace and comfort to your family. I'll always be your proud teacher. Te amo, Chuchu. Vou sentir muita saudade. that's a very good summary of
Yeah.
who he was.
How wonderful person he was. I like to write a lot.
Dois homens que gostam de cuidar as plantas. Escrito assim em português totalmente errado. Two men who like to take care of plants. That was a slogan that Joel had invented for a fake plant company called Verde Vivo, which I believe that besides me, a lot of people here got to audition for to be a partner or founder at some point. It was one of those crazy Joel ideas, an idea to deliver plants to hipsters all around Sao Paulo and get rich doing it. It didn't really work out. Joel and I met a few years back here in Brazil, and we were instantly bonded, not by our shared tastes or affinities, but more so because we were both two Americans trying to find our way in Brazil. In fact, Joel and I had very little in common. Joel constantly made fun of my clothes, my opinions, and my name Gilad. And I think that if we had met while we were both living in New York or Los Angeles, we probably wouldn't have become friends, maybe even frenemies. But finding another American in a similar situation, somewhere foreign, is like a breath of fresh air. We can talk to each other about our childhood, our families, high school, college, without having to add footnotes to someone who wouldn't understand. This usually happened over sushi, where Joel would always order much less food than I did, but his share of the bill was always double mine because he always had to order the most expensive dishes. You're always so cheap, he would say to me over and over. I wasn't Joel's best friend here, nor his party partner, and I'm not even sure he would approve of me speaking at his funeral. I can just imagine him saying something snarky or even worse. Probably something like, "Ugh, Gilad, you're so full of yourself. Go have a drink and let other people talk." Well, that's right, you don't drink, just go have some juice. I did, however, become closer to Joel over the last 12 months as his suffering became more obvious to those around him. I felt somewhat responsible for my co-patriot and tried to step in as a voice of reason where I could. But Joel's suffering was too great, apparently insurmountable. I think most people here today have more than enough fond memories of Joel in glitter, of Joel in leopard, of Joel wearing a rainbow unicorn tiara, enjoying life. And that's probably how most of you want to remember him, a fun, loving, sarcastic partying friend who just wanted to enjoy life. I think it's more fun and comfortable and easier to remember him that way. But that's not entirely how I will remember him. I'll also remember Joel as a friend who suffered, as a friend who needed even more unconditional love, be it from George, his dog, his family, or his friends. Joel was a jet setter who literally had friends all over the world, but that didn't ease his pain. And I think the lesson to all of us here is, yes, let's enjoy life, let's keep putting on the glitter and enjoying the good things, but let's also recognize the pain when it is there. Let's try to be more unconditionally loving friends and parents and colleagues, and let's try to do even more so that the people we love don't have to suffer. Let's be there for each other even when we think it's not our place to do so. Despite its marvels and graces, life is complicated and painful and not easy, and yet we still can't take it for granted. It takes hard work. Joel is now at peace, his suffering is behind him, and I'm sure he's up above having a martini as he watches us all gather here today in his own. He's probably redecorating his surroundings, hopefully with plants and dogs and lights, and looking for some cool folks to debate science and technology and music. And that personally gives me some peace. I want to thank Joel's parents, Jamie, Tom, and his brother Caleb for being here. And to Fernando, you're a superhero. People close to you got to see exactly what it is loving friends and partners and husbands are supposed to do. You were the most supportive of Joel and his best interests and had his best interests at heart. And I want you to know publicly and in front of everyone here that in my opinion, you always made the correct decisions. And even though it took Joel himself some time to recognize that, I know for a fact that he agrees. So on behalf of us all, including Joel, thank you for doing it. Joel, cheers to you for all the hard times and the good. Rest in peace, my friend.
I felt like I had Sunday when I got the call, what had happened. And like everybody, I think we all have questions. And I think meeting everybody here and seeing the love that everybody had for my brother and what he brought to a room, what he meant to me, even though he lived in Brazil and I'm in Wisconsin. I didn't get to see him as much as I wanted to, but I'm really proud of who Joel was, and I know personally that he's in heaven with Jesus right now, and that brings me comfort. It hurts to know that he was in this level of pain, and I feel like we all question if we could have done more or if we could have been there more. And his friends in New York City have reached out to me, and I really don't think there is. I think you all gave it 100% to help Joel. And the way Joel was is, like you've all said, he had his own way. And his way was his way. We'd love for him to have come home more and things like that, but when he would come home, he'd be like, I'm so bored. Because Joel loved the city. He loved all the different people. And meeting everybody here, you've been so kind to us in Brazil, and people that have reached out to us from New York, and Fernando taking us around after he had lost Joel is amazing, and the heart that you had for Joel, and I can see that. And we're just grateful for, I guess, seeing Joel through you and listening to those stories and hearing that. I needed to be here because I haven't seen Joel face to face in 4 years. So I needed to be here, and just the love that I feel, and from everybody in this room, and I think the love that Joel brought everybody is what I'm going to remember. I want us to celebrate his life today, and I know that means not being sad, because Joel wouldn't want that, because he was always, making you laugh, or like you said, saying something snarky to you. Joel had his ways, and the smartest guy I've ever known, the smartest individual, and the stuff that he would do. Some stories came up that people never even heard about. When Joel was in high school, he was making fake IDs for people, and making a business out of that. And then when Joel was in New York City, he was going and buying cigarettes in New Jersey and bringing them over to New York because of the taxes. Like, Joel always had a way around everything, and he knew how to do everything. And just one of the most brilliant minds we'll ever know. And I think, in closing, don't blame yourself. Don't ever put blame on yourself. I have questioned, could I have come here earlier? Could I have come here when he was having his struggles? Maybe that would have helped. But in the end, Joel was loved. And he brought that to a lot of people, and then that's what I'm gonna take home with me from here, and all the love from you guys. I love you, Joel, and we'll see you again, okay?
I'm gonna say it in Portuguese. Gente, é muito difícil falar aqui. Eu vou precisar ler esse texto. É engraçado porque eu tenho certeza que o Joel ia estar aqui. June, why are you reading this? E é muito difícil porque o Joel todo mundo aqui. Mas ao mesmo tempo, eu tenho certeza que ele ia querer que a gente estivesse aqui, não lamentando, chorando. Acho que ele ia gostar que a gente estivesse chorando um pouco. Ele ia gostar que a gente celebrasse o que ele deixou e, assim, compartilhasse tudo que ele pôde compartilhar com a gente. Então, para começar a falar isso, eu queria dizer algo que o Joel falava para mim, que ele já falou para algumas pessoas também daqui, que era a maneira como ele via esse mundo, né? Ele dizia que a gente, os nossos espíritos, eles criaram esse espaço, esse lugar, para a gente poder interagir e para a gente poder compartilhar experiências juntos. E acho que, olhando assim para a vida do Joel e para como ele era, eu acho que isso faz muito sentido para todo mundo, sabe? Porque ele era essa pessoa que era assim, sedenta por viver, sedenta por compartilhar, sedenta por estar nos lugares e aproveitar tudo com todo mundo. E eu acho que